Growing up in the 80s, us boys knew Kenner made toys for us. But did you know Kenner also made a lot of toys for girls? Let's talk about it. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's me, the Junkman, coming back at you with another video. And today we're going to look at the girl side of Kenner. Now, when you think Kenner, especially if you grew up in the 70s and the 80s, you think toys made for boys. I mean, you had $6 Million Man, Star Wars. In the 80s, you had, of course, more Star Wars. You had Superpowers, Mask. You had a whole bunch of toy lines aimed for boys. But Kenner also made toys for girls. That's right. So let's get started with one of their most popular toys released in 1973 called Baby Alive. Now, this was a baby doll that you could feed and everything, and it was a huge success. In fact, they kept making this not only in the 70s, they made it into the 80s, into the 90s, and I don't know, they might still make Baby Alive today or something like it. I really don't keep up with the current baby doll market, sorry. But Baby Alive was a very successful girl toy made by Kenner. Now, we can't talk about toy lines aimed for girls by Kenner while bringing up the Bionic Woman. Kenner had huge success with the $6 Million Man line. It was, as you all know, a successful television show. So they spun it off to a female version called the Bionic Woman. Today they would say, $6 Million Man went woke. But back then, we didn't care. We just wanted to see something entertaining. And with a spin-off television show in the works, Kenner said, hey, let's pick up more sales for the girl market. And they released Bionic Woman in the Kenner line. But going back to 1972, they captured girls' heart with a creepy-looking doll. And this is a huge collector's item. There's a lot of people that collect this doll line out there. And I'm not sure if I'm saying this one right, but see, when I try to say it, when I try to get my computer to say it, Blythe? I don't know what this is. I'll call them the Christina Ricci looking doll line. These things are kind of creepy. They're little girl dolls with these big, huge eyes. Yeah, they're pretty creepy and they're pretty popular. There's a lot of collectors out there that collect these. So you can see Kenner was having hit with girl toys, not just boy toys. And one of their biggest doll hits has to be in the 80s with Care Bears. That's right. Kenner made Care Bears and Care Bears Cousins. That's right, a spinoff from Care Bears. Everyone know Care Bears. These were the rainbow-looking teddy bears. Huge in the 80s, huge in the 80s, and you can still find them today. But in the 70s, Barbie was queen, and Kenner knew, hey, we got to pick up some of these Barbie sales. So they released,
It's Dusty, y'all. I'm glad I made it on the list.
No, Dusty, I'm not talking about you. We're talking about Darcy, the cover girl. Kenner's first attempt to cash in on those Barbie doll sales was Darcy, the cover girl doll. This wannabe Barbie didn't last too long and Kenner moved on. And they came up with another Barbie doll type girl to capture sales.
Oh, shucks, it's time for you to talk about me. This time I know it. Hey, y'all, it's me, Dusty.
Yeah, Dusty, we're talking about you now. Kenner's Dusty, the all-American average teenage wannabe model, Dusty. Move over, Barbie. Take a hike, Mattel. Kenner's Dusty is moving in. She plays golf. She plays tennis. She plays volleyball. She even vapes. Barbie has a dream house. Barbie has a dream job. Barbie even has a dream boyfriend. But Dusty has a real house. Dusty has a real job. Dusty has a real on-again, off-again boyfriend. Barbie might be the dream, but Dusty's keeping it real. When you're sick of playing with silicone parts, play with Dusty. Follow her now on Instagram. Dusty could do it all. Play sports. I'm not sure what all Dusty could do. Let's see here. Dusty could play sports. Baseball. Oh, she could also play golf. Dusty could play tennis. Oh, Dusty could play volleyball. There was nothing that Dusty couldn't do. She could even wear a dress for award night. Oh, Dusty. This is a doll that can do it all. And yes, sorry, the mic got in the way. And yes, Dusty is an employee in the junk room.
Oh, shucks, thanks for gluing me on this list, y'all. It means a lot. Hey, you got any smokes?
So follow her on Instagram. And buy a Dusty shirt at junkmanmerch.com. All proceeds go to helping Dusty get some cool outfits. Now, let's get on with the Kenner girl lines. And we're going to talk about 1988 fashion, I keep messing this up, fashion star fillies. These plastic horses were a girl's favorite toy in 1988. Well, maybe not favorite, the line didn't last too long. While we've been talking about bears and dolls and horses, Kenner had girls making their own clothes in the 60s with the Zoom Loom automatic woving machine. Whew, I can't believe I got that out right. Girls, well, I guess boys could play with it, but you can tell they aimed it for girls, could wove their own clothes. Man, that's what I want to go to school wearing, a shirt woven by my sister. Whew, that's going to get you on that bully list, isn't it? Well, then we'll go back to the 80s and talk about probably another popular line from Kenner, strawberry shortcake. These are the little girl dolls that you can scratch and sniff. Whew, don't try that in real life. You'll get arrested. Trust me, I know. But strawberry shortcake was a huge hit with Kenner in the 80s, and I don't know. They probably still make strawberry shortcakes today, don't they? I'm pretty sure they do. And speaking of a girl line that was a hit for Kenner, we can't do this video. We're talking probably the best-selling Kenner girl toy there is. Easy Bake Oven. Now, I'm pretty sure they still make this today. This is where you could cook food under a hot light. Yeah, it was wacky. Every girl in the 70s had Easy Bake Oven, and I bet every girl in the 80s and 90s had it also, and probably still today. Although today, they probably modified it where it's connected to Wi-Fi somehow. A smart Easy Bake Oven. This was actually released in the 60s, in 1963, and that first year it was a huge hit, selling over 500,000 Easy Bake Ovens. But I know what you're saying. You're saying, Junkman, we want to hear about a toy line based on Marie Osmond. No, we're not talking about a Marie Osmond doll, although there was one not made by Kenner. This is based on a cartoon series with a starring Marie Osmond. And that, Rose Petal's Place. I'll be honest, I never even heard this until today, released in 1984. I never heard of the cartoon or the toy line. I guess I wasn't into watching girl cartoons in the 80s. Or maybe it came on at the same time that the Pac-Man cartoon came on, so I couldn't watch both. But we talked about a lot from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. What about the 90s? Kenner's biggest girl hit of the 90s has to be Little Pet Shop. These were little pets for little girls. You got a little pet and a little play set. Now going back to the 80s, everyone wanted to cash in on that Cabbage Patch craze around 1985. And Kenner thought they had them beat with Huggy Bunch. I even hate saying the name. These are some ugly dolls. I guess Kenner said, look at Garbage Pail Kids, they're ugly. Let's make our own ugly doll. And they made Huggy Bunch. I wish it was called Huggy Punch, because that's what I want to do. Let your sister hug it, and then you take it and punch it. That way it's fun for the whole family. A year later, in 1986, based on a Disney cartoon, they made a dog-looking line that was ugly also, called Fluffy Dogs. Fluffy Dog. I hate to say this, but I know a boy that had one of these. In fact, he had two of them. Luckily, no one ever found out except close friends, because you don't want to go to school and let the other kids know you have fluffy dogs. Trust me. And there's one that's more action figure related that we haven't looked at yet. And Kenner, of course, was having success with the action figure line to Star Wars, and they came up with a girl action figure line called Glamour Girls. They even borrowed from Star Wars. That's right. They both had the same action figure display. These were action figure size, and they were glamorous, and they even had a boat and other playsets. This was Kenner's action figure answer for girls. And I know I hear girls played with Star Wars Kenner toys growing up, but I don't know any. I knew some girls that may have had a R2-D2 and a 3PO, maybe a Yoda, but I don't know any girls that laid around and played Star Wars toys. At least, maybe they were playing with what their brother had and being forced to play along with him. I don't know any girls that collected Star Wars figures growing up, but I heard they're out there, but they were rare. I wish I knew some. Well, anyway, that's a look at girl lines made by Kenner. As I've shown here, Kenner wasn't just for boys. Well, tell me about some Kenner girl toys you played with as a kid. Maybe some I forgot to mention here. Well, I want to thank you for watching. As always, thumb up if you like my content, subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk again soon.
Hey, Junkman channel popping though.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.